Hi, I'm Alfonso Ivy. I spoke with you recently about tips for setting healthy boundaries. Some of the things that we talked about were knowing your limits, knowing your values, listening to your emotions, having self respect, respect for others, and being assertive, and finally, considering the long view or considering the big picture. So, today, what I want to talk to you about is knowing your values. Knowing your values are very important for establishing boundaries and again, just knowing what your boundaries are. You're not able to guard your boundaries if you don't know what those boundaries are. So, like I said, knowing what your values are very important. For example, if you truly value family, what we want to be able to do is stop others from breaking that value or across that boundary and stop ourselves from breaking that boundary or crossing that value. If I value my family, I will not continuously allow long work hours, for example. And I got a little sheet here in front of me just so you can have an idea of some personal values. Things like love, independence, family, stability. And so, again, you want to be able to know what those are. How does it rank in your life? What are your greatest values? And then ask yourself, am I breaking my own boundary by going across my value? Am I violating myself? Is that why I feel so low on my energy? Is that why I feel so defeated? I have allowed myself to break my own boundary, or I continuously let others break my boundary. So, again, that is something that we have to know, our values. So, what is it that you value most in your life? Think about those things today and this week. Because, again, it's easy to think about the question of why do other people continue to break my boundaries? But it's a difficult one at times when you think, do I break my own boundaries? Am I allowing my own self to violate myself, for lack of a better word? If that's the case, then maybe what we have to discuss is self-esteem, self-worth, self-value. And that can be eye-opening. It can be hurtful at times to such a point where it brings tears to your eyes when you think to yourself, maybe I'm putting myself last when I shouldn't have done that. So I'll give you one other nugget of truth. And I mentioned this in a speech last week. But low self esteem can go around masquerading itself as humility. And really, you can be thinking, I'm humble, I'm just being humble, I'm putting others before myself. And it's okay to do that. But you really always should ask yourself, am I putting another person first because I desire to? Or am I putting someone else first because I think less of myself? And depending on what that answer is, that tells you what your next step should be. So, before I finish this, I'll just name some of those tips again. Tips for setting healthy boundaries are knowing your limits before you go in a situation, knowing your values. Is it love, respect, peace, stability, safety, any of those things? If it's safety and I have an unsafe mate, then I shouldn't be dating that mate. He does everything or she does everything that's unsafe. So, again, know your limits, know your values, listen to your emotions, have self respect or self worth, have respect for others and their boundaries, be assertive, and consider the big picture, which is what am I trying to achieve? What is my vision? So that's all I got for today. I hope this video helped you in some type of way and look forward to some other videos coming in the future. Alfonso Ivy, Vine Life Counseling.